Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. I'm Jennifer Labar Tapia. I'm Santa Fe Film Commissioner. Today, Santa Fe and the film industry mourn the loss of two extraordinary individuals, Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa. Gene was not only a legendary actor whose talent shaped generations of storytelling, but he and Betsy were also longtime residents of our community, deeply woven into the fabric of Santa Fe. His talent is for generations to come with all of his storytelling. Gene's legacy in film is unparalleled, spanning decades of unforgettable performances, including some that are filmed right here in Santa Fe. His work inspired countless artists, actors, and filmmakers, and his impact will continue to be felt for generations to come. But beyond Hollywood, Gene and Betsy were our neighbors who embraced the Santa Fe lifestyle and embraced Santa Fe as their home. Their kindness, generosity, and love for this city made them more than just icons, but they were a part of our family. Our thoughts are with their loved ones and all who knew them and admired them. We join the film industry, their family, their friends, and all the people of Santa Fe in honoring their memory. Thank you.
And now, Santa Fe County Sheriff Adan Mendoza will speak, along with Fire Chief Brian Moya from the Santa Fe County City Fire Department.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sheriff Adan Mendoza, Sheriff for Santa Fe, New Mexico, Santa Fe County. On Wednesday, February 26, 2025, at approximately 1:45 p.m., Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to 1425 Old Sunset Trail, where Gene Hackman, 95, and his wife Betsy Arakawa, 65, and a dog were found deceased. An individual arrived to perform maintenance on the residence, became concerned after receiving no answer, and contacted neighborhood security to conduct a welfare check. Security then checked on the residence and observed Mr. Hackman and Miss Arakawa on the ground unresponsive through a window and called 911. Deputies arrived and gained access to the residence, where they observed Mrs. Arakawa deceased. They continued the search of their home and located Mr. Hackman in a separate area of the residence, also deceased. A German Shepherd was also found deceased, and two other dogs who appeared healthy were located on the property. Deputies then secured the scene and notified the Criminal Investigations Division. Due to the unusual circumstances of two decedents in the residence, there was a concern for scene safety. Santa Fe City Fire personnel and the New Mexico Gas Company were requested to the scene to test for carbon monoxide or other foreign elements. The scene was deemed safe, and approximately 9:30 p.m., a search warrant was issued and executed on the residence. Now, collected from the residence, from this search warrant, there were two green in color cell phones, two bottles of medication, one bottle of over-the-counter Tylenol, My Request medical records, and a 2025 monthly planner calendar. Those items were secured from the residence for evidentiary purposes. The Santa Fe Animal Control Division worked with family to ensure the safety of the two surviving dogs. Investigation personnel worked diligently throughout the night and morning to process the scene for evidence. It should be noted there were no apparent signs of foul play. In the early hours of Thursday, February 27, 2025, Mr. Hackman and Ms. Arakawa were transported to the office of the Medical Investigator. An autopsy was performed. Initial findings noted no external trauma to either individual. The manner and cause of death has not been determined. The official results of the autopsy and toxicology reports are pending. Just today, I spoke to Dr. Jarrell, the pathologist from the New Mexico office of the Medical Investigator. This was at 2:00 p.m. today. She advised that there were several tests that were submitted to be expedited. She revealed to me the following information. Both individuals tested negative for carbon monoxide. An initial interrogation was conducted of Mr. Hackman's pacemaker. This revealed that his last event was recorded on February 17th, 2025. I was advised that a more thorough investigation will be completed. That'll conclude my statement. I will take a few questions, and just so everybody knows, this is an active investigation still. I'll take questions.
Based on what you know about the conditions of both the bodies, who do you believe died first?
That's a very hard thing to determine. Even with the assistance of OMI, we asked that question because that's a question that we want answered. That's a very hard determination to make, and I don't think even OMI could make that determination based on the initial autopsy. Any other questions?
Mr. Chair, in that 2025 planner that was mentioned in search warrant return, were there events scheduled for either member of the couple for the coming weeks?
Again, that'll be part of our investigation. We will look and try to gain access to the cell phones. We'll be analyzing cell phone data, phone calls, text messages, events, photos in the cell phone to try to piece a timeline together. One of the things is in an investigation is we try to piece a timeline together, usually before the event happens, and that gives us a lot of information. But in this case, it seems like we're doing a reverse timeline. We're doing a timeline from the time of death and the autopsy and the results, and we're going to start working our way backwards. We're going to do both, and then hopefully make a determination what may have happened to both the individuals. Sasha.
When you were saying the last event on the pacemaker was February 17th, would that kind of give you a sign that's probably the day that he died, so they've been dead for about 10 days?
According to the pathologist, I think that is a very good assumption that was his last day of life.
Sheriff,
Is there any
why are
surveillance video?
Why are the pills such important evidence?
I'm
And
sorry?
The pills.
Okay.
The finding of the pills being such important evidence, and could that have been part of the cause of death?
Well, of course, they're important evidence. These are things that I think are important for the pathologist and OMI to consider to try to make a determination what the cause and manner of death are. So all that information is collected, not just for us, but we can provide that information to the pathologist and OMI so they can try and make a determination of what the manner and cause is. And I think that's important for OMI also.
Sheriff, was there any surveillance video, and is that helping you to determine what may have led up to this?
That's a good question, and that question's been asked. So, I respect the Mr. Hackman's and Ms. Arakawa's regard for privacy. I think everybody here understands that they were very private individuals and a very private family. There is no surveillance, as we know of right now, in the interior of the residence or the exterior of the residence that is going to help us determine a timeline or events that happened.
Mr. Sheriff, have investigators,
Sir?
Tom Answer with CBS News, have investigators been able to get into the obtained cell phones?
Not at this time. We have them in our possession. Those were collected yesterday. It's going to take a process. We do have software, and we may have to reach out to other agencies for assistance to get past, if they're password protected, to get past the passwords and gain access to that information. So this is some other things that it's going to take a little bit of time.
Sheriff, is there any information on
There are names, Nikhil McClellan from the Albuquerque Journal, there are names on prescription bottles. Do we know any idea as to who was taking any of those medications?
Yeah, due to HIPAA, I don't want to release who the medication was prescribed to or what the medication is. I think there's a HIPAA concern there, so I won't release that information.
Sheriff, do you know the nature of the pills that were found by what were those pills there?
What were they? I think I just answered that question. I think I stated I'm not going to release the actual medication or who it was prescribed to due to HIPAA questions. Sir?
On the carbon monoxide part of it, does that, what the pathologist told you, does that rule out carbon monoxide, or is it possible it kind of dissipated from the body and we just weren't able to find signs of it?
I think that's a question for the pathologist. It's with that information, I'm assuming that at the time of death that they were negative for carbon monoxide, which means to me that that is possibly ruled out. That's another conversation I think that we will have with the pathologist and OMI to make sure that that's still not indication, but it sounds like that's ruled out.
Were there any signs that Betsy was under any form of distress?
I don't have that information. Again, I didn't personally see the individuals, so there's no indication that there was any stress. There was no indication of any of that I can tell or that I can share, unfortunately.
Has foul play been ruled out?
Hold on. Anybody else? I know you've asked a question.
Sheriff, was there any significance to the space here being located near her head, that detail, and any more information about how the dogs died?
No, I don't think the space, now that we've ruled out carbon monoxide, unless there's something else that comes back in the toxicology report, that we have to look, we're going to look at everything, right? We have photographs, we've documented everything that was close to the body in the room, then we'll look at that a little closer. But right now, there's no indication that has anything to do with it.
Sure. Were you able to determine whether they fell or not? Like, was there any trauma evidence on the bodies to suggest a fall?
No, I don't think there was any indication that again, there was no trauma indicated on the body. I'm assuming if they would have fell or injured themselves or a head injury or brain injury, that would have been discovered by the pathologist. So I'm going to say that they weren't.
Just to follow up, but you saw the sunglasses and the cane on the floor, according to the police reports. That would seem to go against that.
That's up to the detective and OMI to work out. I'm gonna take 2 more questions, and then that's gonna be it, sir.
Can you say what the space heater was powered by? Was it gas powered or electric powered space heater?
I don't know that information right off the
On the
top.
topic of starvation.
Sir.
How long do you think we'll have more concrete answers of what happened?
Again, we're waiting for the autopsy results and the toxicology. The doctor, the pathologist, shared that information, which I think some tests were expedited, and so she shared that information with me because she thought it was relevant to the case and important for the public to know. I don't know. I don't know when the cause and the manner will be determined officially, or when the toxicology results come. I'm assuming the pathologist will wait for the toxicology to come back, so that'll help her make her decision on what the cause and manner is. But it could be months or 3 months or longer, in my experience. One more question.
When was the last known contact with either Betsy or Gene?
Again, that's been one of our challenges because of their privacy. So one of the challenges is trying to determine that timeline. I think the event of the pacemaker gives us an idea, but we're gonna sift through the cell phone records. We're gonna go through the planner. We're contacting workers, maintenance workers, family members, security. We're going to be talking to security. It's a secure subdivision. There's in and out that I believe is documented. So we're working with them to try and determine, when the last contact was, and that'll help us put together the timeline. So thank you, everybody. I hope this answered some questions. And again, if we get more information, we will release that. I know there is concern and interest in Mr. Hackman and Mrs. Arakawa, and I just appreciate your patience. Thank you.